We are honored to be joined on NDTV by Senator Ghazala Hashmi, who has actually broken several glass ceilings. She is the first Muslim woman and the first South Asian American to be occupying or to become the Lieutenant Governor elect of Virginia State, and the first to get a statewide position like this. Senator Hashmi, thank you so much for joining us. You were born in Hyderabad and went to the US at a very young age, 4 years, we are told. This kind of a journey, breaking multiple glass ceilings, what kind of a message does it give to women back here in India, in Hyderabad specifically, and also to the Indian diaspora there in the US?
Well, good evening. I'm so delighted to join you, and thank you so much for this opportunity to connect back to my roots in Hyderabad. You know, Hyderabad holds a very dear and special place in my heart. I had the opportunity as I was growing up to visit during 3 summers and spend that time with my grandparents and my cousins. And I think what we're seeing here in the United States is that the Indian diaspora has grown in strength and numbers, and there's so many people that are involved in many different professions, and now especially in the spaces that are occupied by government and politics. We have many individuals from the diaspora who are running for office on a variety of different platforms and across different states. And I think the message is that our Indian American community has been thriving in so many different professions. And now the work of government, too, is a very critical place for so many of us that are part of the diaspora.
You have had a very unique journey, something that you have, the journey that you have gone through is something that inspires millions of people, I should say, back here in India as well. But as someone who was in education, someone who got a PhD in literature, and then moving into politics, what were your takeaways from there? Has that influenced the kind of subjects that you have focused on?
Absolutely. Yes. I spent 3 decades in higher education teaching, and my family is actually a long line of educators. My father, too, was a college professor as well in Georgia, and so I followed in his footsteps. I think the key takeaways as I moved into the space of government is that the role that education must necessarily play is such an important one. For me personally, public education is the most important public good. And here in Virginia, we have considerable strength in our public education, free and accessible education for every child, and the opportunity for us to build a strong, talented, and skilled workforce is the necessary work that we're engaged in government. And I am privileged now from the state to leadership level to be able to prioritize the work of education to ensure that every person has an opportunity to earn their degrees and to find a good job. That's going to continue to be my important focus as Lieutenant Governor.
The rise of Indian Americans like you or like Kamala Harris make a very powerful story for many, not just Indian Americans, but women across the world as well. What would you tell young women aspiring to be these kind of leaders in positions of power, in positions of influence? What would you tell them are the biggest takeaways that you have for them?
It's been so gratifying to me. After election night, I received thousands of messages from so many people, but most especially from young women across the world who see in my election their own opportunities to pursue their dreams, to make sure that they are working in challenging environments, and to know that they too have the opportunity. You know, not everybody needs to run for office, but I think the biggest message for young women in particular is that they should seize the opportunities to really challenge themselves and to work hard to represent the values and the issues that they care about. And I think that's been the biggest and most important message I've received. One thing that I always share when I'm talking to women in particular is to say yes, to say yes to opportunities. A lot of times women doubt themselves. They question whether or not they actually belong in certain spaces or if they should try to pursue something that might seem formidable. But I encourage women to say yes when opportunity presents itself and to take on those challenges and to work as hard as they can to achieve what their goals are.
That's a very powerful and very important message for women across the world, I guess, because not just in India, across the world, the representation of women in politics has been so limited in so many ways. But when you look back at the country of your origin, the kind of the entry level barriers for women, do you find that very different in say the Western world compared to India? We have, of course, had women prime ministers and women in the president's chair as well multiple times.
Yes, I don't think we should undervalue the fact that India and other nations have long since elected women to be prime ministers, to be presidents, to be chief ministers. And sadly, in the United States, we have yet to see a woman serve as president. And even in Virginia, it wasn't until my friend Abigail Spanberger 2 weeks ago, she broke that gender barrier. She became Virginia's first woman governor. So it's taken us this long in Virginia, and we still haven't achieved it in the country. We have not seen the capacity yet of women's leadership. So we are all struggling. You know, I think women face these challenges universally across the world, and it's long past time that women are able to run for office, run for these critical leadership roles, and to be the kind of leaders that we desperately need in the world. I think one thing that women bring into leadership is the ability to listen carefully, to engage in thoughtful discussion, to analyze and research information, and to reach good decisions. I think we're going to see how the shift in our leadership in Virginia is going to be a very positive one as we move forward in 4 years now.
So you do see some particular merits or characteristics that women as leaders bring to the chair as well, you're saying.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. You're assuming or going to be assuming this very important role at a time when the US politics or has become highly polarized, or is it across the world that you see this kind of a change coming in of a very polarized environment in which you will have to function?
Yes, you know, I decided to run for office because of the polarization. So in 2019, when I first decided to run for the Virginia Senate, it was because of the bigotry and the division that Donald Trump came into office in 2016. He ran on a platform of targeting immigrants, and he also ran on a platform of targeting Muslims in particular. He imposed a Muslim ban as he came into office the first time, and I felt a responsibility to stand up and to speak out for the values that I have, and to make sure that we're protecting all marginalized communities. And sadly, across the world, I think we're seeing deep polarization, not just on nationalist lines, but clear economic divisions as the wealth disparity grows, and we see so many individuals struggling. We have a responsibility to fight for equity, to fight for access, and to fight for opportunity for everybody. And that's a place in which the United States should have a leadership role. And I think we will be seeing some important shifts in the politics of the United States as we go into the 2026 election cycle this upcoming November.
So that's on an optimistic note. So, what are your priorities going to be? You have spoken about public education. You've spoken about reproductive rights. What are your priorities going to be in your, first year in office?
Yeah, so I think our top priorities right now have to be around healthcare. We are seeing the impacts of the decisions at the federal level that are impacting us at the state level. And right now, immediately in front of us, 300,000 Virginians are at risk of losing their health insurance. And so, as state leaders, we are working to respond to that. So, healthcare, education, lowering the cost of for families, whether it's groceries or prescription medication, access to childcare, all of those are immediate concerns, and that's what we're going to be focused on in the next couple of months.
The America that your family went to or your parents came to is perhaps very different from the US of today. It has always been a land of dreams for people from India. Has something integrally changed in the way the immigrant population is received in the US now? And are we at a point in history where things are going to change now?
That's a great question, and I think we see some changes in the ways in which immigrant communities are being targeted and scapegoated by the Trump administration. And at the same time, we see great resilience in the immigrant communities. We see more voices that are standing up and fighting for the values of strong immigration policies in the United States. So many Americans see immigrants as friends, neighbors, as individuals who contribute to the overall culture and climate and health of the nation. And so we have strong champions who continue to fight for responsible immigration policies that allow us to continue to see the talent and the skills and the knowledge that so many immigrants contribute to our nation. I think we're going to see a shift soon. People are really tired of the direction that Donald Trump has taken this country, and I think we're going to see a strong reaction and a response. We saw that in Virginia. Last Tuesday's election signaled pretty significant changes. I and our new governor won by double digits. We brought in 13 new House members and have secured a strong Democratic majority in the Virginia House of Delegates. Those are signals as to the direction Virginians and Americans want to see this country move in.
आपसे हिंदी में भी बात करनी होगी. आप हैदराबाद से हैं. क्या आप जब हैदराबादी जो हिंदी है या उर्दू है वो बोल पाते हैं? वहां पे मौका भी मिलता है आपको?
जी, हमारे मौका तो कम है उर्दू में बात करने की, मगर कोशिश तो कभी-कभी करते हैं। आजकल तो हमारी वोकैब्युलरी इतनी ज़बरदस्त नहीं है, तो थोड़ी-थोड़ी तो बोल सकते हैं। हिंदी और उर्दू तो समझ में आती है, मगर बोलने का मौका बहुत ही कम है। हम अपनी अम्मी से तो बात करते हैं उर्दू में, वो बहुत ही पेशेंट है हमारे साथ, तो जब उर्दू के अल्फाज नहीं आते हैं तो हम अंग्रेजी में बोलते हैं, तो जब बातचीत चलती है।
बहुत खूब, बहुत खूब. हैदराबाद की यादें कुछ है आपके पास जब भी आप विजिट करती होंगी, कभी-कभी आई होंगी?
जी, अब 10 साल हो गए जब हम लास्ट टाइम विज़िट किए थे। हम अपनी बड़ी बेटी को साथ में ले आए थे हैदराबाद। उनको बहुत ही मज़ा आया। वो भी 20 साल की थीं जब पहली मर्तबा देखी हैदराबाद। और अपने ख़ानदान के लोग से मुलाकात हुई तो उनको बहुत ही खुशी हुई। हमारे सबसे पसंद की जगह है चारमीनार, पुराना हैदराबाद। उसमें वो उसकी हिस्ट्री और सब ब्यूटीफुल आर्किटेक्चर जो है बहुत ही अच्छी लगती है। और वो बाज़ारों में शॉपिंग करने भी मज़ा आता है। चूड़ियों का बाज़ार और कपड़ों का बाज़ार, उसमें बहुत अच्छा लगता है। तो हमारा दिल चाहता है कि फिर से आएँ। इंशाल्लाह 1-2 साल में कोशिश करेंगे फिर आने की।
हैदराबाद ने अपनी पुरानी जो खूबसूरती है वो तो बनाए रखी है. एक तरफ मॉडर्निटी भी यहाँ पे काफी सारा है. आप यहाँ की जो लड़कियां हैं उनके लिए कोई मैसेज देना चाहेंगे? क्योंकि जैसे आप हैदराबाद से गए और इतनी बड़ी पोजीशन में आप अब एक ओहदा, एक पदभार संभालने वाली हैं, तो आप यहाँ की लड़कियों के लिए, यहाँ के युवा के लिए क्या मैसेज देना चाहेंगे?
जी, मेरा ख्वाहिश है कि सब लड़कियों का वो एजुकेशन अपॉर्चुनिटी रहे, ताकि वो सब लड़कियां और लड़के भी जो भी करियर में जाना चाहे कोशिश कर सकते हैं. Education is the key to being able to have these opportunities. तो मेरी ख्वाहिश है कि सब लोगों को एजुकेशन का अपॉर्चुनिटी मिले, ताकि अपनी जो भी ड्रीम है वो परस्यू कर सकते हैं और अपने गोल्स अचीव कर सकते हैं.
Ma'am, one of the reasons that, one of the concerns among the Indian population is about the H-1B visas itself. And that's been a matter of huge politics and debate as well. What is your view on the policies that the US has vis-a-vis H-1B and the way they seem to be changing in the recent past?
It is creating a real crisis here in this country, and especially with so many employers. You know, our HB1 visa holders are such a important, provide such important contributions to many of our job sectors, but particularly in technology. The skills and the talents that our HB1 visa holders bring with them are essential to our companies being able to do the necessary work. And one thing we know with the crackdown we are seeing, unfortunately, from the Trump administration, the kind of restrictions that that administration is placing, is that we're going to lose the talent. We're also going to lose the companies themselves. They are going to relocate to other nations that allow them to hire the skilled workforce that they need. So we must bring change to the Trump policies, and I'm hopeful that in next year's elections we will have congressional leaders who will actually stand up to the damage that the Trump administration has done. The other issue with the H-1B visa holders, of course, is their children. These individuals who are part of the workforce also have young children who have integrated effectively into our schools, who are thriving in their communities. And this is impacting entire families, not just workers, with the kind of terrible decisions we're seeing the Trump administration making.
Before we let you go, we must ask you to walk down memory lane. Talk about Hyderabad. You have managed to make multiple visits to the country of your birth. What are your memories that you carry from here?
So as I was growing up, I got to spend 3 summers with my grandparents and my cousins, and those are some of the best memories from my childhood. I know every time I had to say goodbye at the end of the summer, it felt like a deep heartache. I was leaving part of myself behind, and I really valued and treasured the love of the larger family that we had in Hyderabad. 10 years ago, I was able to bring my oldest daughter to visit the city and to visit her relatives. She absolutely loved the experience. That was her first visit. She had just graduated from college, and she made good friends with all of her cousins there. We loved, in particular, seeing the old city. Charminar is one of my favorite spots. We love shopping in the local bazaars, whether it's the Jewelry Bazaar or the clothes district. It's just a beautiful city, and I feel a very deep emotional connection to Hyderabad.
Lovely. So Charminar and the old city of Hyderabad certainly steeped in history. But I would also like you to give a message for all those young women there who look at the journey that this young girl made from Hyderabad, born there, and then goes on to very soon become the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia. What is your biggest message to those young girls looking to you for inspiration?
So I think my biggest message is to pursue every opportunity, to pursue every goal and ambition, and to lay that strong foundation through education. That's something that I'm deeply committed to, making sure that every person that I am working with has educational opportunities, and that is the foundation to be able to build a thriving career. And I also encourage young people to not be afraid to take on challenges. Don't let fear ever stop you from trying something that is difficult or that may seem to be out of reach. It's only when we strive and work hard that we're actually able to achieve the dreams that we have, not just for ourselves, but for the communities that we care about. And it's so critically important for all of us to be engaged together in the work of improving the lives of the communities that we live in.
That's a beautiful message for all these youngsters. Thank you so much, Ghazala Hashmi, for joining us on NDTV. It was a pleasure to speak with you.
Thank you.